Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. Today I'm finally getting around to review the Scribbles That Matters dual tip brush markers. They come in this really great case, and then it has the colors that you get in there and explains which side is the brush tip and which side is the fine tip. So there are 24 colors included in this. In total, this set costs $29.97. And like I said, there are 24 markers in it. And when you open this bad boy up, it's really, really pretty inside. I've kept my foam piece, but there are the variety of colors that you get. Now, as you can see, they're great options for blending and watercoloring, if that's what you're going to be using them for. But today I'm going to be going through the colors and I will be comparing them to the Tombows so that you can get an idea of what they're like compared to the Tombows. So again, first impressions, beautiful colors, beautiful packaging. You could argue it's a little excessive, but I like excessive, so that doesn't bother me at all. And definitely luxurious based on the packaging alone, but we're going to test them out and see. I have Rhodia paper that I'll be doing the generic testing on. Then I have a Leuchtturm bullet journal, a Scribbles That Matters 100 GSM bullet journal, and then 160 GSM bullet journal that we'll test these guys out on. So hope you enjoy the video today. So one of the things I do want to comment on quickly about the appearance of the pens is that they have cute little icons and cute little accents all over the barrels, which are kind of fun. And also, for the most part, the shell matches the color of the ink inside. So what you see is pretty much what you get, with the exception of this one. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be a bit more bronzy. It's actually a bit more orange, and that's probably the only thing that's really missing out of this whole set is a bright vivid orange. So you have your vivid red, blue, purple, green, yellow, but no orange, which I thought was kind of weird, but hopefully that means they'll be producing more pens, especially as I mentioned earlier, they are numbered. So we'll see how it goes, but this is going to be your closest bet to orange, and you'll see that when I do the swatching. So we'll start on the left and make our way across to the right. This is number 43, and it looks like almost a periwinkle purpley type color. Right away, first impressions, the barrel of the pen is really nice to hold. It's got good girth. The nib is very thick, as you can see. And then let's have a look at the fine liner. There's your fine liner, which I feel is pretty standard. So okay. So quite a bit of flexibility, which you'd expect from this kind of brush marker. And the fine liner part is fun. And let's do a little bit of lettering in this guy. Okay. So we're going to look to see how that compares to the Tombow first before we do all the swatching, and you can take a look and see. This is the Tombow 553. I think this is the one that compares. Yeah, this is the best comparison to it. Now, I don't know if my Tombow just has more flexibility because I've used it more, but it's definitely easier to use, and the fine tip is finer than the Scribbles That Matters fine tip, if that matters to you. I'm going to start referring to Scribbles That Matters as STM because it's less of a mouthful, but there we go. So if you look at the advertising of the Scribbles That Matters, they say it's vivid. colors, and I agree with that. The Tombows seem a bit more pastel in general than the Scribbles That Matters do, but as we swatch and go through it, you'll get to see that. So again, before we do the swatching, we're going to go through the different bullet journals, the different papers, and we're going to see ghosting versus bleed through. Sorry, this is the bullet journal Leuchtturm, so there's a lot of writing in the back. Okay, so I'm taking the 92 and we're going to see how this one does and if it bleeds. Okay, so really pretty. I really like that. Let's have a look and see. There is lots of ghosting, and there looks to be some bleed through coming through now. So a little disappointing if you're a Leuchtturm user, but otherwise it should hold up in the 100 GSM and the 160 GSM. So let's have a look at the 100 GSM. Oh, one more thing. Let's see how this compares to the Tombow. I believe this is the, yeah. So this is the closest color I could match to this Tombow, to the Scribbles That Matters 92 is the Tombow 620. And as you can see, it's a lot more pastel-y than, say, the STM 92. So, and again, your Tombow, there's ghosting, but your Tombow's not bleeding through the page. And this is a Leuchtturm. Now this is the 100 GSM bullet journal. And so we'll take a look at that. Let's take the STM 09. Okay, very bright, very vivid. Let's see. Just some ghosting in the 100 GSM, so that's not too bad. And let's take this is the Tombow 636 in comparison. So right away, the Tombow tip is floppier than the Scribbles That Matters tip. So again, I don't know if that's just because I've used these more, most likely. But yeah, the STM tip is a lot stiffer. And let's have a look at that. Just, again, some ghosting, nothing too serious. And now for the 160 GSM. I'm using the STM 44. Okay, and I don't think I had a similar Tombow to this one. No, I didn't have a similar Tombow to this one, so I'll just grab the old Tombow again. So the Tombow most similar to the STM 44 brush pan, I would say, is the 685. I don't have that in my collection yet, so I wasn't able to make sure that was the color that best matched. But if I look at my color palette, that looks to be the best match. And the 160 GSM is no ghosting and no bleeding. So not too much of a surprise, but still great to see. So now we're going to move on and we're going to exclusively look at the Scribbles That Matters, and we're going to play with them, we're going to color swatch them, and we're going to watercolor with them. So now we're going to be looking at how the pens blend together. I'm going to be using techniques I've used before. I'll be using a Tombow blending pen. Scribbles That Matters doesn't have one, so I'll just use the one I have. We're going to be using a water pen as well, and then just using the pens themselves to see how they blend. The paper I'm using is the Strathmore Bristol vellum surface paper, and that is to make sure my pens don't fray or get damaged. And I've just cut it up here so that you can see it. And then I just have a blending palette that I'll be picking ink up off of so that we can check that out. So let's get started. Now, first, let's use the actual pens themselves to do some blending. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the lightest blue, which is the 81, and the darkest blue, which is the 31, and we'll see if we can get more of an effect using those two colors. So pretty smooth blending, just like that, using the different pens. And now I'm going to test to see if this is self-cleaning. And then the tip is self-cleaning, so that it ended up getting rid of the darker blue that I'd already picked up. Okay, now we're going to look at using the blending palette, and we'll see how it looks picking the color up off of the blender palette. I'm going to be using the same colors just since I know they work together. Okay, so a little bit more rushed, so it's a little wobbly, but I actually really like that effect too. So they do really well blending with each other, and yes, the tips do appear to be self-cleaning, which is great. So now we're going to move on, and I'll use a different color just for fun, and we'll check out and see how the blender pen works. So I'll use the purple, the dark purple, and the lighter purple, and we'll give it a try and see how it works. Okay, so that's using the blender pen. Pretty cool. The sense I get from these pens is that they want to be blended, if that makes sense. So there is a lot of ink that goes down, and so I'm finding the paper is pulling a little bit. This isn't a watercolor paper, so that's why it's pulling a bit, but yeah, very saturated. A lot of fun to blend, easy to blend. So now with that said, we're going to give the water pen a try, and we'll pick some other colors for you just so you get an idea of what the colors look like. So let's do red and the pink. And we're going to be using the water brush pen this time. So I went a little overboard with the water, but again, super easy to blend, super fun to blend with. I'll definitely be I'll be doing some more thorough pieces, if you will, and you'll get a better idea, but I just wanted you to see what it looks like on camera itself and how easy it is to blend. Again, I was a little heavy-handed with the water, so it's not necessarily the pens, but I will be including a better picture for you. So there you go. There's all your blending that you can have a look at. I will have a chart on my blog, and I will be comparing the Scribbles That Matters to the Tombows, and you can get a better idea of your buying decision. So stay posted. My swatching is coming up.